Greetings, salutations, right? Hoping all is well with you and yours. Let me fix this. Aha. Works better. We had the mic close. There you go. What's up, JD? It was great seeing you. Look, a couple folks, I appreciate everybody that said what's up, Um, good time in this weekend. And I tell you, the title, look, I was a little sweating it for a little minute, but definitely up there on that hill, it's no reservation. Pun intended. What's up, little baby? You already know what's up. What it's always gonna be though. It's about to be Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal!
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic rigor, community, they also know how to turn up.
Does he have it? Yes, he does! And that might be the knockout punch.
All right, greetings, salutations. Hopefully everything is going well for you and yours. Normally have some FAMU stuff, but we had Capital League meetings, so I had to real quick, all right, let me find something. I was like, you ain't got these, so pull this up, man. House of Kappa, some decent merch, man. So he's like, yeah, I'm doing a limited sale. Like, yeah, let me go on and get something for my birthday. So I got that. Got a new favorite cup over there too, man. So got no tea in it yet. So after the show, I run to Publix and make some sweet tea so I can try it out, man. Look, it's the little things these days. I had James Franklin on speed dial. Look, FSU probably do too, right? At this point. All right, I'm gonna stop. Because I am actually, look, I'm a fan of both schools. So I'm not one of the people that hate Florida State. Now, I'm actually a lover. I'm just not loving the product right now, like a lot of the other folks. But man, look, as y'all saw and as y'all heard, we definitely had a little pun intended, man. A little, we fired some shots. It wasn't a stray. No reservation. So as y'all may or may not know, Alcorn is known, called the Cave as a reservation over there. What's up, DQ? What's up, John Jones, Tamara T, Mary 305? I see you. So we definitely, we throw some jabs every once in a while. Nothing mean spirited. So always in good time, always in good fun. Also, Rattler Boosters, if you are so inclined, still looking to increase the numbers. They actually about to have their elections pretty soon. So if you feel like you know somebody, nominate them. Don't nominate me. I ain't got time. Also, round one with my good buddy, St. Clair Moraine, man. We do our show, and we got a little sponsorship from the local Piggly Wiggly. So, you go in there, see Mr. Moore, let him know you heard about it either on Fangs Up or obviously on round one with St. Clair. So, just let him know, man. If you come through, get the fried pork chop sandwich. That's my favorite. I didn't get to go for homecoming. There's too many people down there. Like, I'm sorry. And if you haven't heard the post game yet, it is up. Got up a little bit later than I normally like, but y'all know it's homecoming internet, so it was what it was. And in my infinite wisdom, I forgot to put my memory card in my camera. And then when I went to delete the bad photos that I took, they weren't like bad, like they were actually like I took pictures and they didn't come out the way I wanted to. I deleted the whole thing. So I was like, oops, glad I took a cell phone video. So that's why we got the guys up there. Yeah, man. It was a great homecoming. Pep rally, gospel choir, everything. Okay. And y'all got y'all president do the charge too, man. She was better than some of the other folks. I thought the one in convocation was better than the game day, though. I'll say that. Last one though, don't forget, still racing 10K. If you're feeling so inclined, donate to the track program. Please do. We need everything we can get for our team. Swag champion team. Just saying. We're just putting that out there. It is what it is, man. On today, her Rattler charge isn't bad. It's not terrible. she enunciates a little heavy sometimes. I don't know, man. I don't know what it was. It just wasn't. Oh, it was a little off on Saturday. The one on Friday she was on point with that though. Like I can't say nothing with her. Friday one was straight, man. So I saw her in the elevator, gave her a nod. So yeah. They out there, man. They out there, man. It's just, hey man, that's what we supposed to be up here for, man. Do something to make sure y'all got that DQ. And for those who didn't see, volleyball team, they got a sweep, a much needed win too, man. Look, we turning the corner on this, and if so, I'm loving it, man. So, and football team won. Look, whew, I was glad to be wrong. Now, mention it right though. My BCSN picks was 5-0. I hit all of them. I smacked them around. I told y'all, look, I even had to mess with Brian a little bit because, hey, we were talking about the what was my 3 games? It was the FAMU. I picked FAMU. I picked Tennessee State, and I picked PV. And they're like, over Tennessee State. I'm like, over Howard. I'm like, I keep telling y'all, don't have faith in that team, man. They beat bad teams. We're one of them. But overall for the football game, man, it was fun. Good weekend. Friday night, went out and just got out the house, man. I wasn't even really trying to do anything. Just went somewhere that I told you that event at the IMAX. So, part of it was just to kind of be on the other side of that. I've served as the person who had to work that event, and then to kind of be like, man, I want to be the patron, kind of see what it was. Look, they had one bartender. Yes, Lord. Yes, Lord. I did not get her name for a reason, but sister girl, shout out to you. She had, I don't even know what it was. It was, at first it was a mojito, but she ain't had no mint. Sister girl was pulling, and I got 2, and I was through. I was like, hey, it's approaching 12 something. Let me get on this house because I get one more and I'm be sleeping in the parking garage. I'm not. It was, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And if she served you a beverage, you was appreciative on all sides. But overall, fun event, man. Fun events. Y'all went to the parade. Looked like y'all had some fun at the parade. And game day. Look, I'm gonna give y'all a lot of credit. Y'all were well behaved. Y'all showed up. And overall, even at halftime, that was frustrating. So just kind of in watching the game, right? And I definitely gotta do a rewatch before we do our Monday night recap. So don't forget, you'll catch that here. Also catch that on the Black College Sports Network. We're gonna do our Monday night recap with the ONG Strike Zone. We come together, one family, Monday 7. If you throw me off on the time, so and probably we're gonna switch up our internet thing with that. So I don't know if I'll be able to use the friendly confines like this, but it might be the friendly cell phone. So if I don't answer your call for an hour, it's because I'm probably using it for something else. But yeah, just kind of recapping, right? Going back in there, crowd was right, tennis was solid, the 100 was amazing. If you caught the post game, you definitely got some of our questions out there. Definitely shout out to Coach Burris too. Like I definitely just caught him. Like we were walking out of the stadium. One of the things about me, some of y'all may notice this year, you may have seen me running upstairs or walking down the stairs. I don't have a lot of patience. I'm very friendly, very cordial, but I just don't have patience. Like I just don't. So what I did was notice that the line was long, and I walked up the stairs. And then at the end of the game, and this is for the elevator, because there's only one elevator at Bragg, I realized the line was going to be long to go back down. So I was like, I'll just walk. And so in the process of that, I did get to talk to Coach Burris, not about a lot of stuff, but, just kind of picked his brain a little bit. So, I just want to make sure I give him a shout out. Appreciate that. It wasn't anything crazy like, hey, how you going to change the offense and make it better? But it was really cool to kind of get him to talk a little bit. And, it would be cool just as and I get why you don't, probably get them post game, but it would be cool because every game, as y'all see, we've gotten cozy. This year we haven't gotten any players. We ain't got any other coaches. And in the past, we used to get Willie and a player or two. Last year, we got Cozy and a player or two. I would have liked that, especially senior night for the Jackson State game. It kind of is what it is. We'll get to that point when we cross to it, right? But it'd be nice to have one or two of the seniors. Maybe have a Nayron come up there and talk. Like, that's something that I definitely would like to see just from a media perspective. Like, I think at this point you've seen we ain't gonna ask these kids no crazy questions. Like, they think y'all think y'all to fire the coach. Like, we're not gonna ask that. So just asking for that, or give us a coordinator. Like, I would love to have that. Just you're telling us what y'all talk about, but let's ask him. Like, okay, what did you receive? So, and Coach Burris was working out of the press box this game, so I think that was pretty cool too. As you mentioned, Marvin, the quarterback play was better statistically, absolutely. We still almost had 2 picks. So Nayron is solid though. So he did release a social media page. Look, his mom was not playing. Like, and when I tell you that was a scary moment as a fan and as somebody who just is there, it was a very scary moment. I couldn't imagine, the spot for her parents or his parents, and her place as a parent, nor his dad. Like, and look, Pops was tough though. Pops was G about it. So he was putting on that face, and man, when he popped up, it was pretty cool. So definitely, appreciate B-Dot. Look, I can't lie to y'all. B-Dot showed his behind. He was hilarious. Like, just saying. So, but to answer your question, he's all right. He's been released. I believe he had a concussion is what was released via the news. I didn't get that from anybody. Got that from the news source. I know I cite sources. I believe it was a Democrat. I don't know if it was Gerald, but if it was, Gerald. So yeah, the question was posed: was he better, or was it Alcorn? So let's go straight there, right? I think Alcorn's trash. Like, y'all know. I mean, we just gonna be real about this, right? Alcorn's not a good football team. They were also a little short-staffed in some positions. Their quarterback is a quarterback that Howard got rid of, from what I was told. I have to confirm that. So he's more of a runner than a passer. I just don't think. I think you had a situation where you had two teams that weren't very good play each other. Yeah, I think that's pretty much where that came out there. And so I think if we're being honest about it, you have two teams that are not that great. That kind of shows you why anybody can win in the SWAC. But I think furthermore, you're in a good spot schedule-wise. Like, this is a nice little sweet spot to build morale because you're bouncing off of playing one of the worst teams in the SWAC. Then you're going to play who probably is the worst team in the SWAC in Southern. And really going into that game before this one, I was like, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie to y'all though. I bet against Southern. I did. I told y'all. On the BCSN, I picked PV because I just did not believe. And going into this game, I don't have much of a difference. This is a great time to pick up a win. It was interesting because I still saw, and we'll go position by position. I still saw some of the same bad habits out of the quarterback. He does hold the ball still, but he protects it. I get why, as a defensive coach, why that's what you want. I get that. He's still missing reads. I mean, we could lie about this. He's missing reads. I know if I were going against that, I would I'd play more zone. Like, I was really looking for teams to run in like a short bubble zone, really like saying you're gonna have to beat me with your arm. Like, you got to show me that you can do more than throw to the left. You could take it how you want it, but for me, that was something I saw just watching that game. Like, you would have had to take that away from me. Running wise, though, I was actually happy with our run game a little bit. I like seeing all the running backs in there. I love seeing Bo get in the game. Of course, you always love seeing Thad Franklin. I will say one of my frustrations in the game early on, offensively, that offensive line. Early in the game, you actually went to a 6-man offensive line. Like, you actually brought in a 6th offensive lineman to help protect, and I felt like that did help. Later on, you went back to your 5 receiver sets, and that's when you start seeing some more protection problems. Like, we really got to be honest about this. The offensive line is in a place where they are struggling if there's only 5 of them. When you had that 6th guy, it looked a little better. I think that's something you kind of continue, even with running the ball, because when you're looking at a team like going into the next game, they struggle stopping the run. They're not great. Not gonna say they're not good like that, but they're not great. And so even in this game against Alcorn, look, that was a problem, Teresa, back to back. And you kind of miss some things though too, like other things that I saw offensively, right? I'm wondering, can our quarterbacks, not that quarterback particular, do they have the freedom to check out of plays, and do they have the recognition to do it? Because it's first half, I think it was like 3rd and long, we run the ball, right? But what happens on that play is, I don't remember the minute mark exactly. Ace Cobb's lined up at receiver. Alcorn's got a linebacker on him. Why didn't we check to a pass play? Because that's a speed disadvantage. Because all of a sudden what happens is, if you check that play, and maybe I have to go back and double check and see what was seen further out, like, right, more globally. But depending on what the secondary looks like behind him, why is that not an opportunity to let one of your faster receivers go against a linebacker? Like, it was Ace versus 45. Like, I didn't understand it. And I don't know if that's on the quarterback or they just don't have that freedom yet. But I saw that, and it was like, and this was at a time when I believe we were losing at halftime. So going into the half, right? So that was it. Like, I think offensively, the biggest frustration was that, especially early on, those field goals, like that first penalty, that personal foul penalty, that was stupid. Like, you can't have that. Like, he did later on. The second half he does, but that whole first half, he threw the same route a lot. I'm gonna leave it there. But I don't love when we're having a field goal battle. Like, we've only scored more than 20 points against bad teams. You like, the same way that I discount Howard's wins, it's the same way I'm discounting this 33 points. Like, you got 33 points. You got 30 points plus against a Division II team and one of the worst teams in your conference. So, does it matter that you won? Absolutely. But you can't get so product driven that you become process poor. Like, some folks are, I feel, only look at the stats. I'm a numbers guy. I believe in that. Like, I believe numbers don't lie. But I also believe there's that intricacy of, all right, now match the numbers of what you're looking at. And I think when you're looking at some of what we saw, the numbers are a little misleading. Like, and I do think it's a place where you want to go back and kind of still look and see, like, we left a lot on the bone. Like if you're a real FAMU fan, you should have had 40 points. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to be like any type of misleading or any type of way. If you're a real FAMU fan, you go back and watch that game and say we should have had 40 points. Like, exactly, little baby. Some of those stats just empty calories. I mean, jet through picks. So I can't lie about that. But we had there was 2 that was dropped last game. Like, so again, offensively, you're not getting into any type of rhythm early. At least the first drive you get there, but you don't punch it in. And that's a huge problem. Some of that also, though, I did think the play calling got a little vanilla. I think sometimes we did look at down and distance, and because of the down and distance, you made a decision to where this is where we should have been, but this is the play we're going to run versus maybe making that adjustment. Like, I know we want to run the ball with that a lot, but it's going to have to be a place where that quarterback's got to be able to score. Like, I don't think 33 points against arguably the worst team in the SWAC, second worst team in the SWAC, really validates much. I think it more so says that you can beat bad teams. I mean, what's the difference between that and you playing the video games on rookie? Oh, okay, you can beat it on rookie, but when you put it on the hard level and you're over to getting shut down and you're frustrated and you're throwing stuff, so you're really not as good as you say you are. That's almost the feeling I get right here. Like, and look, the penalties were stupid. Like, it's homecoming. Coach literally took y'all to Georgia to get y'all away from this. And you still on the sideline fighting people, on the field fighting people, in a place where you've yet to beat a Division I team. This is your first home win against Division I team. This is your first conference win. And the crazy part is, with everything that I'm saying, you're still in the hunt for a conference championship, division championship. Is it likely? No. But is it a possibility? Yes. Is it something that I'm going to sit up there and try to sell you? No. Like, not at all. Like, just saying. And the red zone mistakes did stick out. I will say, so we can kind of put a pin on the offense. It was more imaginative. I don't know who said what. We saw some reverses. We saw receivers in motion. I ain't gonna lie, a lot of stuff I asked for, I got. I don't know if Coles and Birds watch the show. If they do, appreciate it. What can we do to help our quarterback start QB1 process faster? I know the statement was he's got a short leash and he's got to be where he needs to be when he needs to be there. But what can we do? Because something about the reading process isn't happening, and I don't know if we can play the long game. And I think in this case, you're playing the long game. That's tough, man. So, but overall, offensively, the end result, I'm happy with. The actual in game, what I saw, no. Like, the second half, you hit some big plays and you opened up the offense. But that first half, that's not it. Like, it can't be that. And all that's not on coaching. Some of that is on the stupid mistakes by the players. And I'm much like some of y'all, like, if they make dumb mistakes out like that, why they're still in the field? But especially when it's an offensive lineman, if offensive line is one of those positions, you take one out and it can really go from sugar to feces real quick if you take out the wrong person. So, they didn't always do a great job blocking for that, man. The tight end up the middle, Alcorn couldn't handle him. No. There was a lot of guys, man. We had a talent advantage again. And you really, in all honesty, you should have one more win at the least. Like, you should have won the Howard game. We can't cry about that. But Thank you. This is where I'm at with the 6 linemen. He doesn't need 5 receivers. To me, it's a waste of time to put 5 receivers out there with really any of our quarterbacks, well, especially RJ. Like, because of how long he takes to process. It's not a slight on the kid. It's not a, oh, you don't like him. No, I don't dislike that guy. I'm looking at the film. I'm watching it in the games. And I'm seeing the same thing y'all see where he pass the ball. And you're just like, throw it. He hits his step, he hits his back foot, and it's like, throw it. You're late. Like, it's almost like when he's in his back pedal, he's not reading the defense as he's doing it. He's not looking. It's almost like it's almost like he's doing a quarterback drill where he instead of like when you're going into your drop back, you're kind of looking. It's almost like he's not reading is part of what I think I saw. That's just me though. They don't know who to use. I mean, that's a tough team. What game you see us winning? Hey, Valley and Southern maybe. What games do I think you can win is different versus the games I actually see you winning. Like, and that definitely changes. But just saying, what's up, Gail? Good to see Gail. Look, Gail, cousin Melody's cousin on the other side of the family. Okay. He's the best running back, honestly. And if he doesn't have, he's relying on luck. Man, I tell you. Flag 1 homecoming, but Tallahassee need new football coaches. Valley is they kind of scoring. Bethune scoring, but they also scoring against bad teams. Like, I have to go back and double look at that, but which one of the top 3? There's only really 3 good teams in this conference, right? Has Bethune done well against? I'll leave that there. So, just saying. Defensively, I was okay. You could definitely see the game change when they were on one out. I will say that. And that's not me just being a Nayron Jenkins fan or supporter or whatever you want to say that. I think the game changed when he came out. I think in a player like Nayron, you have a more traditional linebacker. He tackles. Like, he's pretty good in coverage, good leader. Look, Augustine. It was almost like you almost felt post game like he couldn't really enjoy it as much as he wanted to. And so in the press room, it was kind of like, good job, coach. This is all we're asking for. We just want wins. Nobody cares how you do it. Just win. It's Al Davis. Just win, baby. But yeah, you still had a corner opposite TJ Huggins got beat. Like, yeah, like, just me personally. If I'm Southern or anybody else, I'm testing that secondary. I am testing that secondary all day. FAMU's run game, unless you have an elite O-line and elite running back, I'm not just willfully running at it all day long like that. Not that, they're going to stop you from running. But you can tell in practice, whatever they focus on stopping, I've seen that somebody else say that, they're probably going to stop. Now, the thing that they don't focus on stopping, it was wide open. Like, deep balls, open all day. I that's just me. Linebacker-wise, some guys are missing tackles. Look, I'll go past this, Jay. Why don't we have really a deep safety or 2 deep safeties? Like, you look at our secondary at times, there was a couple times where you had a corner on and a safety on one guy, and you're like, why are you lined up like that? Like, all of a sudden, you're running a single high safety. That means that single high guy is probably responsible for the entire deep portions of the field instead of having the too high where you're literally splitting the field in half, where it's like, hey, you got help over the top this way, you got help over the top that way. So now you're asking one safety to, in my opinion, to do too much work. Because can he get there? Yes. But what happens when 19 get burnt? And it's just him one-on-one in coverage. Like, well, the kicker was one of them. His question was who the two players got run over. Oh, the kicker was one of them. Like, but yeah, I think that's just looking at it. My biggest thing is got to be tackling, though. Like, defensively, there's no reason Alcorn's quarterback should have got that long run like that and ran through all those tackles. Like, that was an abject disaster. And then even still, I question what some of our coverage packages are. Like, are we doing enough to protect our secondary? Because 21 is 21, right? 21 is your best corner. Are you protecting the other corners, though? Because they need help. Like, kind of joked about the offensive line needing help, and you made a move. Should you run a more traditional secondary where you have more of a two high and less of a one high type situation going on? Because you keep running one safety over the top and it look like you're going to keep getting burnt. And what's going to happen is you're going to run the teams who've been having success with that. I understand part of that methodology of bringing that safety a little closer is probably so you're using it more as a spy. But even still, like, if he is a spy and he's that close to the line, is he too close to the line? Because if he's a little further back, not saying he's got to be all the way deep, but if he's a little further back, when the quarterback breaks, hopefully the line will slow him up a little bit, and then you can let that safety catch him at 3 to 4 yards, and it's got to be a hit. Like, and if he slides, he slides. But I think that's something that we kind of got to work on. Going back offensively, man, I can't say that. All that wasn't on the receivers all the time, though. Some of the passes are not thrown well. Again, RJ doesn't make bad passes a lot of times. Granted, most of them are not very deep, but the receivers did drop. Like, that the tight end had a drop, but he's backpedaling and trying to catch the ball like this. I don't know how many times people are going to catch that realistically. We had a couple drops, so like that wasn't always great, man. Like, we do at times. You're not wrong. But back to defense. Overall, I didn't love it. I don't love giving up that amount of points to the worst teams in the conference, because you got a 5-point victory against a team that you probably should have beat by, what's that, at least another 7. So at least 12. Like, you could have beat them by 12 and really could have beat them by more than that. Like, exactly. Could have beat them by 20. So overall, though, man, it was a better look, but it wasn't a better look because you played better talent. It was a better look because you played somebody that really was not as good as you. And it showed. And so now going into the Southern game, man, that's going to be tough, because you pretty much, there is no pretty much. You know who QB1 is. You know his shortcomings. You know what he's good at, right? Other teams are going to see that too. They watch film. You kind of know offensive line-wise what you do well, what you struggle with. But one more big play, they could have capped homecoming. Yeah, man. Look, they were darn near onside kick away, right? Special teams, though. I forgot about special teams. They were up and down, right? Like, you got a block kick, which was huge. Like, honestly, and if you watch the post game, I definitely mentioned it. Like, hey, coach, talk about how that changed momentum, right? Because before that, the team's kind of looking around like, man, here we go again. They give up that long kick return. So that's why I was like, tomorrow's grade on special teams ain't gonna be great. It's gonna be kind of mid because you give up a kick return, you miss a field goal, and the worst part of missing the field goal is you were losing at the time. And then on top of that, like punt looked a little shaky. It wasn't as bad, but your punt return got killed. Like, I don't know if that's targeting. I'll just be honest. Like when that happened, I was on the Alcorn side of the field. When I saw it, it didn't look like targeting. I thought it was just a good clean hit. I just thought it was one of those you should have caught fair catch moments. Like I know you're trying to make a big play. I know it's homecoming, but that's also one of those plays where you might have got your bell rung for nothing. I'm just being honest. Look, y'all know Keith gonna call a spade a spade. Like, light show was trash. Yeah, look, y'all messed up the light show. Light show was fired the first time, and then I think last time they just did it because people like me was screaming lights, but light show was trash. Yeah, you do that better. What's up, band talk? Y'all got a new band director yet? Asking for a friend. I'm petty. I actually like Dr. Wells, so he's pretty cool, man. He takes jokes pretty well. I look over there cussing on the show. See, that's how people get blocked right there. But overall, man, I think it was a successful homecoming. But I think as a game, what you took away from it was that you still have a lot of work to do offensively. You have to open up the playbook more. Like there needs to be more, continue the movement. Like offensively, we saw receivers in motion. We saw extra guys blocking. You saw some of the elements of the CFL. Goldie's run was great. Like DQ, you are not wrong there. I would like to see more of that with Goldie and Wiltshire, though. Like honestly, at this point, let's call a spade a spade. FAMU has nothing to lose. Absolutely. So you added the Wildcat in there with Thad, which that's cute, but it's not efficient. Like I think it's a really cool play. I think it's probably a little better at the goal line. But even still, for me, if you're going to run a play like that, let him be the halfback. Let Ritter be the fullback. And then put a guy like Welcher or somebody as the other one and run it almost like a wing T, because now I can give it to the power halfback, I can give it to the power fullback, or I can give it to the little speedy dude. Like all of a sudden that changes how that play works, because now you don't have a thrower, but you do have people who are now giving the defense fits, because I can either run double power where the fullback blocks for the H-back, or I can run it where I'm running a motion, Wiltshire comes over, and Thad actually just hands off the ball to a very fast guy who now he's got edge. And so it's just some of those things. If you're going to add that to the offense, add it. When you're running these guys in motion, I love seeing the flea flicker type plays, or the pitches to the guys in motion. I thought that was genius. I thought the route running it fit what your quarterback was showing he can handle. It's a lot of comeback routes, a lot of button hooks, or a lot of 5-yard routes. But that was definitely interesting there. Man, look, what you mean? That never happened. Look, he was supposed to play that off, man. He was supposed to be like, yeah, man. Glad to get a win, though. I tell you what, he didn't play that one off. I thought he was gonna play it off. Like, coach, nobody heard anything. Just keep moving, just keep pushing. But little baby, I wasn't shocked to see the motion, because I think one, it was brought up in the show. It is brought up in enough places, and it's something that you can obviously see. Like you're gonna start RJ. He's not reading defenses quickly. How do we help him decipher what's going on? Put guys in motion so he can see, is Is it man or zone? That's the least you can figure out. And if they're giving you some of these Nick Saban defenses that are like, the freakazoid combinations of both, there's a difference. But there's not a lot of us running that. Just saying. So I just think I need to see more of that. The route combinations, I was okay with. Like, again, once I was like, okay, the ball's going where it's going to go. I'm not, because other people who aren't FAMU people watch the show too. So you got to watch the film yourself. It's on ESPN, whatever they have it on. So I ain't about to dish tea. And y'all be like, oh yeah, like they did for the Cowboys. Oh, we was watching this thing, and then the commentator said that. What's up, Montre? But I'm just saying, like, offensively, I was okay with it. Defensively, against a team like Southern that's really struggling, like, man, look, my boy Phyllis, man, great conversation, man. Look, if y'all are in the Atlanta area, results only fitness. I'm just telling you, it's the spot. He's got trainers, facilities, run by a Rattler, military veteran. Brother's got experience, man. So, just letting y'all know. I didn't even catch it up there. But I'm definitely glad that they did that. But again, defensively, I would like to probably see an extra down lineman. I do understand that you want to, especially in the SWAC, you want to keep from having quarterbacks run all over you, but you can't let these teams get a good run on you. And especially with Southern, they're going to be hungry. They're desperate. They lost their homecoming. That's going to be something that you can't underestimate. That's a different kind of desperation. Like, their coaches, the seat is on fire, and he's going to be looking for something and looking for a spark. So, but coming out of your own homecoming, you did good. You did well enough to win, and I think that's all FAMU Nation really wanted. We wanted wins, and I'll tell you this about FAMU: we are fickle people. But at the end of the day, one thing we love, and we like almost all fan bases, we want to win. If you're winning, we may not love it, but we ain't going to complain about it much. But when you're losing, that's when it's a whole different story. So, yeah, Coach, that's when the press crew was in tune to what was up and asking the right questions. Hey, man, look, I will say this. There's certain questions I'm not going to ask. Like, as a person in the press and what I consider now somewhat seasoned about FAMU, some questions you're not going to get from me. Like, I'm not going to ask a lot about how you feeling. I did ask Burris that, though. Like, I was, hey, man, kind of, first time really talking to him. So I was like, what's the feel like when you're, like, calling these plays and they're not doing it with you? And he's like, oh, bro, it's so aggravating, he actually broke down, like, ball was supposed to be here, but it ended up there. And, and I appreciate that kind of stuff. But in a media spot, I'm not about to ask, do you think you lost the locker room? Why would I ask you that? You're not going to give me a real answer. Not this year. You might do like you did the other week and slip up and be like, man, yeah, after that Jackson State game last year, them boys kind of quit. Like, dang, okay, well, 1 year later. But I'm just saying, man, that's the first time I've seen it looking at the camera all season. Man, I think that's the most comfortable he's been all season. Like, he was definitely relieved. Some questions you can tell, like some questions he anticipated and some questions he definitely was ready to defend. He was definitely ready to defend RJ, which no, I wasn't going to ask that question. I don't think I asked it the last game. No, I didn't ask it. So I wasn't going to ask this game. Just because I felt like, hey, you got it. The stats are what they are. With the run game, Gerald I had the same question Gerald was going to ask about, I forgot what it was, but yeah. Albany State did win the game, but it was ugly. It was like 7-3. Like, it wasn't what we've been used to. Like, what are the rest of the points at? But yeah, like some of the questions we just, we want to make sure we stay focused and make sure they're solid questions, stuff y'all want to hear. Because y'all come on the show and y'all drop questions and be like, man, I don't know the answer to that. And You know, I don't like that getting caught in the parking lot and be like, bro, why you guys that question, man? Come on, ask them real questions. So, but yeah, I think overall, great weekend, good times. Perry Street was fire. I only went to one spot. I went to the lemonade spot with Travis. Travis formerly marched in the Marching 100. Attended Dillard High School. Y'all know, look, Travis be cutting up and dancing, but he got a lemonade stand up there, man. So I hit him up for the lemonade for the 10. It was fire. I got the peach lemonade. It had a little like peach chunks. Him and his wife, congratulations. They are having another baby. But go check them out, man. They over there right there when you come on Perry Street, kind of right there by Max. So I hadn't caught Max this year to get my turkey leg. Normally, I like I ain't gonna lie, man. I feel like this next home game, Pop's gonna hey boy, you go up there, give me turkey leg. So I would gladly oblige the old man. That's my pops. So but yeah. But I did walk all the way up and down Perry Street. Phyllis and I were talking about it, man. We were like, man, it don't look like it used to. And then later on, when we kind of walked all the way up and down, it was a good time catching up. We were like, this is really what we used to. It got that look, but yeah. So I was on the other side too. The other side, it wasn't popping like Perry Street. Normally isn't, but you could definitely tell, man. I will say it was a good homecoming. The things that you did miss and that you probably do miss is in attendance. Is the stadium's smaller, but I'm very confident in saying you probably led HBCU football in attendance, man. So the Heat had me not do a number of things. Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. Shout out to Kelvin because I definitely hit up the tailgate and man, the ribs was on point, the brisket was on point, but the Gatorade was better. Like I wore out the Gatorade. I definitely I was guilty on that. I was on the Gatorade, and even today I'm on bubbly, and the bubbly sodas. So it's sparkling water. Ain't no sugar in it. So we're trying to cut back. We're trying to get back right. So my wife is messing with me today. She was like, saw me have some candy. She's like, I thought you was going to the gym. I said, I ain't going tonight, man. I got something in the morning, man. I sent him a good word for me. Make sure when you talk to the man, mention my name. But it was a good game, man. It was good times. And overall, it was what you needed. I think as a program, this was the type of victory in the day that you need. And this is a great way going into Southern to maybe set up something where you can get a win streak. I ain't saying you're going to win that game. But what I'm saying is you got a chance to give the folks some hope. And if you give them some hope and you can find something, especially going into the Jackson State game, that's dangerous. Because woe betide if you can catch a flame and ride it out for the rest of the season. Because you already said you made it through one. You said you can't lose homecoming. Now there's one monster left on the schedule. The rest of the season matters, but there's one monster left on that FAMU schedule. That team looks competent. They look like they found themselves. It might just be because they're playing bad teams. But right now, there's one monster left. But you can only play the next game that's in front of you. So, all right, y'all. Tomorrow, 7 o'clock, myself, ONG Strike Zone, look, Kelvin, Brian. Look, we might even see my boy. Marcus might even be on the show. There's a lot of recruiting going on, man. I haven't been able to keep up. So all of us, we'll be here. We're gonna do our good, bad, ugly. We're gonna try to have a new segment up there too, man. I ain't gonna shed no light. I'm gonna work on that tonight, man, so the wife can get to sleep, man. But look, for everybody, HBCU Digital Network, man. Look, my Sands, appreciate y'all, man. Look, my Sands up there at the tailgate, went by, dapped them up. I don't even get food. I just dap up, say what's up, man. Can we really see RJ had a good game? Statistically, I'm just saying. Look, statistically. Do I think he had a good game? I think he's still late. I think he's still look. I'm gonna finish with it out, and I'm gonna just say it. I still think he reads defenses late. I still think he doesn't push the ball down the field. But there we go. I think overall he played well. But do I think I think if they catch those 2 interceptions, you look at the game differently. I'll say that. Do I think he's growing? Yeah. Is he growing fast enough for FAMU? Exactly. Yeah, he's still locked in. Both coach and player, they're locked in. So, hey man, yeah, I tell you, I don't dislike people, man. I just try to spit it like it is, man. Outside of that, man, little baby say he ain't growing quickly. Hey, coach said he is. I don't think he's going fast enough though. I think he's got to progress in a way to where he can get to the point where in 3 seconds he can make a decision, right? And where when that decision isn't there, he can transition to a second option. And if there's no second option, run. Like, look, I'm gonna leave that up. That's Teresa. Like you got that, Teresa. Like you got that. Defense needs to play stronger, not give up easy plays or easy points. You're right. We gave up some points that were not excusable. And look, the seat's hot in Tallahassee. Somebody got to step up for Nate on defense. For real. Yeah. Because Nayron, I said at the beginning of the season, my favorite player, man. I would like to. Because I think I would like to see both if the game gets to that level, right? I think if the game is tight, do what you're going to do. I'm not such a dissenter that I got to be right. I feel like what I've seen is different versus what some others saw in that one game. I feel like the fact that North Carolina Central is the second, if not the toughest team on your schedule, the best, if not second best defensive line on your schedule, you consistently ran a 5-line front most of the game. I think that matters. But at the same point, within the confines of the offense that you're trying to run, you're trying to be right. Be right. Run who you're going to run. Live with the results. And whether they're good or bad, as long as you live with the results and you're good with the results, that's on me. I'm good because I'm never going to argue with somebody over that part. You swear you're right, you're right. And right now, statistically, when we're looking at turnovers, touchdowns, and total yards, you're right. Period. So, do I feel like when I watch some of the intricacies of the game, I see something different? Yes. But I think that NCCU game was damning. It wasn't a good look. And 4 picks like that wasn't good. I think if it had been 1 or 2, you could have maybe got away with it. But 4 like that, yeah. I do think the problem is if you put in the other guy in that game and he looks competent, you start that question again. You start, hey, can we see both quarterbacks? Whereas I think you've killed the question. It's at this point, you can say, just like how you at the press conference, he made sure he read off RJ's stats and say, argue with these stats. I think that's what you're going to get. And if we win, I'm fine with it. If we lose, I'm not fine with losing. But you're going to do what you got to do, man. So, all right. So we're going to get up out of here for me. So I don't know why it's acting like that. I'm over here looking at the screen over there behind me like, man, what's going on? But for everybody at HBCU Digital Network, man, y'all already know. Look, we appreciate the fans, appreciate the family. Thank you for everybody who spoke, man. Look, I know those that are like, I've made them look. I was trying to recognize your face. I recognize faces. So keep introducing, keep saying, hey, it's always great to see y'all. And catch us tomorrow. We're going to be doing our ONG Strike Zone mashup, and we're going to be talking about that game, give us some good, the bad, and the ugly, and see if we can get this new segment going right. We build this plane as we fly it, and we just hope we land. All right, y'all. For everybody, HBCU Digital Network, and so the wife can get some sleep. Y'all know what's up, what it's always going to be. Fangs up.
Yeah, baby, you know what time it is. Now let's get it started. Are you kidding me? Unreal.
While our HBCUs are mostly known for academic